Today on the Ask BP podcast, we're talking about how do you determine the vacancy rate of an area. Stay tuned.
You're listening to another Bigger Pockets Ask BP podcast, where you'll hear short, direct answers to your biggest real estate questions. Submit your question today on Facebook, Twitter, or the Bigger Pockets forums by using hashtag AskBP. And don't forget to pick up your copy of the Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Real Estate Investing and other great content when you sign up for your free account at biggerpockets.com. With that, let's get to the show.
Hey, what is going on, everyone? My name is Brandon. You are here listening or watching the Ask BP podcast here on the Bigger Pockets social network. You rock. Just want to let you know that I'm super pumped about today's topic, which is about vacancy rate. What? What's that? All right, let's talk about it. Vacancy rate. Let me get to the question. Maybe I should say that first. Today's question comes from Craig from Baltimore, and his question is, Brandon, how do you determine the vacancy rate of an area or a property? All right, Craig from Baltimore, let me talk to you. So vacancy rate is the percentage of time that your unit is empty in a property. So for example, if you have a 4-unit property and 25% of the time over the whole year, the various units were empty, your vacancy rate is 25%. So maybe you had a 4-plex and one of the units was empty all year. I mean, that's really, really bad marketing on your part. But let's just say that. Like you had 3 units rented all year, one was empty all year long. That's a 75% occupancy rate and a 25% vacancy rate. And so the idea is you want the smallest vacancy rate possible, right? Because that means you make more money. And so how do you determine that in an area? Like let's say you want to go and buy in this XYZ neighborhood. How do you know what the vacancy rate? How do you know what to plug into your analysis? Like maybe you're using the Bigger Pockets rental property calculator and it asks for vacancy rate. What do you plug in there? How do you know? Well, there's a few ways that you can determine it. 3 ways I want to talk about today. Number 1, if you own a property there, you can look at your own property to determine the vacancy rate, obviously, right? So you can add up all the months that the unit was rented, that the property was rented last year, and then add up all the months that weren't, and then just figure out the vacancy rate. What percentage of the total possibility was it empty? And don't count things like if there was a rehab going on, you had to take a property offline for a few months to rehab it. I probably wouldn't include that in the vacancy rate, but I mean, I guess you could if you wanted to. I just normally wouldn't. And so you could do that yourself. That's the first method if you own property in the area. The second method is ask other people who own properties in an area, because you probably don't own a property in that area yet. That's why you're asking this question. And so you're going to ask other investors who live in that area. But Brandon, how do you find investors in another area? Thank you for asking. So if you are looking to connect with other investors to ask them questions like that, a few ways you can do that. First of all, you could probably go on Bigger Pockets. There's 300,000 plus members there. I'm sure you can find somebody in your area. Just go to biggerpockets.com/meet and you can search for them. So that's just an obvious way. Also, go to real estate clubs in your area. If you got local real estate clubs, go meet with them. You can also go talk to real estate agents and say, hey, could you connect me with some local investors in the area? I'm trying to network and reach out. And they can hook you up. There's a lot of ways, just networking events, you can just reach out to people and build those relationships. So make sure you talk to other people. Ask them, hey, what are you seeing for vacancy rate? Now, thirdly, the third way to find out the vacancy rate, and probably my favorite, call up a local property management company and just let them know, hey, I'm thinking about buying a property in this area, but I'm not really sure if I should. Do you know what the average vacancy rate that you're getting in this area is? Boom. They'll tell you right away. I mean, why wouldn't they? They're trying to get your business. They want to tell you. Now, keep in mind, the property management company may not be exactly what you'll get. Like maybe they're a really bad property management company, or maybe they're really good, or maybe they're lying. So I would call several of them and just kind of compare. And then I would also assume that they're maybe being a little bit optimistic, but maybe not. But I would maybe assume that, maybe just plan a little bit more conservatively than whatever they say. So if they say, oh yeah, we're at like 3%, maybe guess 4 or 5. And that's probably a decent way to do it, but it kind of depends on the property management company. So those are the 3 ways that I would look to determine what a local vacancy rate would be. It was your own properties, other people's properties, or property management companies. So with that, let's get out of here. Today's success quote of the day, Charlie here is going to help me with this, comes from Dr. Martin Luther King, and he said, take the first step. Just take the first step. Love that quote. It kind of goes with my fog analogy that you can't always see hundreds of feet in the distance when you're driving through fog, but you can usually see a little bit. And when you get that little bit, you can see a little bit further. kind of that same concept. I love that. So if you're struggling to get started, just take that first step in faith. Let's get out of here. Remember, in pursuit of your dreams, don't just learn, but take action. For the Ask BP podcast. Oh, make sure you leave me a thumbs up on this YouTube video. Give me a rating and review in iTunes. Let's get out of here. For the Ask BP podcast, this is Brandon and Charlie signing off. Woo! All right. But Brandon, how do you find investors in that area? Let's just cut that out. Let's just not even talk about that. We're going to go back. I don't remember where I was. Let's see. Where was I? I have no idea where I was. Charlie, where was I?
You've just heard another episode of the Bigger Pockets Ask BP podcast. Submit your question today on Facebook, Twitter, or the Bigger Pockets forum by using hashtag AskBP. And for more incredible real estate investing tools and education, including a free download of our book, The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Real Estate Investing, head over to biggerpockets.com and sign up for your free account today. We'll see you on the next show.